Hello students, welcome to EPG Parshala. I am Dr. Savita, Associate Professor and Deputy Director, Sankalp Group, Chandigarh. Today, we will be discussing about the module Managerial Functions, Skills and Roles of the paper Development of Management Thoughts, Principles and Types. After completing this module, students, you will be able to understand brief introduction and types of managerial functions, various managerial skills, understand the role of managers and also know about the Henry Mintzberg 10 managerial roles. The world is changing dramatically and is in the process of complete transformation. The impossible things of yesterday are become possible today, and impossible things of today will become possible tomorrow. It is rightly said that change is only permanent aspect of nature. Nowadays, the concept of global Kutum is gaining importance over the concept of self-sufficient nations. Management of economies and organizations is bound to cope up with the radical transformation by developing new mantras of management in the global perspective after carefully analyzing the real challenges faced by the managers of today and tomorrow. Before studying the managerial functions, we must know the real challenges of today and tomorrow which would be faced by the managers. In this changing dynamic world, the challenges would also continue to change, and in every organization there may be different challenges which a manager has to identify before taking any action or decision. Some of the challenges faced by managers are challenges of globalization, challenges of information age, challenges of quality revolution, challenges of providing able leadership and purposeful direction, sustainable growth, process value addition and re-engineering the organization. It is very important for a manager to be a thinker, a doer and a people-oriented man. Managerial functions. Managerial functions refer to the roles and responsibilities of managers, and to perform these functions effectively, managers need certain skills. Management is a creative process which integrates and uses various available resources effectively to accomplish certain goals. For this, an individual is responsible to develop ideas and get things done through others. This individual is called manager. So, any person who performs the functions of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling for the accomplishment of predetermined organization goal is called as a manager. Manager is not actually to do the work but guide others to do things correctly. According to Peter F. Drucker, that every job should be designed as an integrated set of operations which are varied enough to reduce boredom. The worker should be given a sufficient measure of freedom to organize and control their work environment. It is the duty of every manager to educate, train and develop people below him so that they may use their potentialities and abilities to perform the work allocated to them. He has also helped in satisfying their needs and aspirations through incentives and other things. He must provide proper working environment to the subordinates so that they work to the optimum level. So, the job of the manager is very complex and requires some extraordinary qualities to get the desired results. The manager should have the capacity and capabilities to meet the challenges of his job. Manager is getting things done through others. He prepares plan, build an organization, help and motivate the employees according to plans for the purpose of achieving organizational goals. Planning. In planning, a manager performs informal and decisional roles. He makes decisions on the basis of information which he collects earlier. Organizing. In organizing, he performs decisional role by allocating duties and resources to organizational units and makes way for the coordinating of these units. Directing. In directing, the manager performs interpersonal and informational roles by interacting with his subordinates, leading, motivating and communicating them. Controlling. In controlling, he shares informational role. Manager must ensure that performance is accordance with the plans adopted, the instructions issued and the principles established. The staffing function has not been included in role approach as this function tends to be included in human resource management area, though every manager is involved in some aspect of staffing like performance appraisal, on the job training, etc. Managerial skills. Skill is the ability of a manager to utilize managerial knowledge to get better results, more efficiency and overall prosperity to the organization. The following are the essential skills that managers need to carry out their responsibilities efficiently and effectively. These are technical skills, human relations skills, that is also called behavioral skills, and conceptual skills. Conceptual skills deal with the ideas, technical skills with things, and human skills with the people. Conceptual and technical skill is needed for good decision making, whereas human skill is necessary for a good leader. Technical skills. A technical skill is the ability to understand and perform a specific kind of activity. It refers to specialized knowledge and proficiency in using various methods, procedures and techniques for doing specific jobs. In a production department, this would mean an understanding of the technicalities of the process of production. In higher functional positions such as the position of a marketing manager or production manager, the conceptual component relating to these functional areas become more important and the technical component becomes less important. So, when we talk on skills possessed by supervisors and foremen, civil engineers, surgeons, we have technical skills in mind. These skills can be acquired through formal education and developed through practical work experience. Human relation skill. Human relation skill is needed to interact with the people at all levels. In simple words, it is the ability of a manager to work with, motivate, and counsel people. This skill develops in the manager ability to recognize the feeling and sentiments of others, to judge the possible reactions, to examine his own concepts and values, which may enable him to develop more useful attitudes about himself. Human relations skills are needed not only to deal with subordinates but also during interactions with superiors, peers, and outsiders. Managers can develop human skill by intensive and extensive interaction with people, listening to their viewpoints, empathizing with their feelings, and extending a helping hand in situation of crisis. Conceptual skills. It refers to the ability to take a broad and far-sighted view of the organization and its future, his ability to think in abstract, his ability to analyze the forces working in a situation, his creative and innovative ability, and his ability to assess the environment, the organization, and his own job so that he can set appropriate goals for his organization, for himself, and for his team. Conceptual skills utilize analytical and decision-making abilities of managers in increasing organizational effectiveness. This skill can be developed by providing opportunities to managers to handle challenging situations in the organization and formulate generalization from real situations. So, the job of a manager demands a mixture of many types of skills such as decision-making skills, people management skills, communication skills, time management skills, etc. Whether he belongs to a business organization, an education, a hospital, or a club. Management skill continuum or managerial skills and level of management. There are various levels of management, and managers at various levels perform all the functions of management, though in different degrees. So, the level of skills required at different level will be different. It is clear that technical skill deals with things, human skill deals with human beings or people, and conceptual skills deal with the structure of ideas. It is also very clear that all managers use technical, human, and conceptual skills in performing management functions. As it is shown in the diagram, conceptual skills are more important for managers working at the higher level, and technical skills are more important at the supervisory level. So, it is because higher level managers are mainly concerned with the overall functioning of the organization, while supervisors have the basic responsibilities of getting jobs done by core workers, and therefore they must possess technical skills. So, it is very clear from this diagram that conceptual skills are highly important for top management, which is responsible for formulating long-term plans and policies for the organization. Human skills are important at all levels of management. Technical skills are most important for the first line management, which has to administer the use of equipments, tools, processes and procedures. Roles of managers. Now, the question arises, what do managers do? Peter Drucker suggested that the task of managers in the following manner. Setting of objectives. The first and foremost role of manager is to set objectives to establish the goals of the group or organization and offer ways to meet those goals. Designing the organizational structure. Second, the most important role of the manager is to organize the task, saying who will do what and when. Motivation and communication. Third important role of the manager is to perform the directing function, that is motivation and communication. Motivation stimulates the performance of job. There must be a free flow of communication with the workers. So managers ensure proper and effective communication, and he must encourage others to accomplish their work and engage with others. Performance appraisal. The manager assesses the performance, that is, the manager devises ways in which to measure the performance of the organization against the organization's goals and objectives. The manager has to control the workers if there is any difference between standard of performance and actual performance. The control ensures the right performance. 12 people, including himself. Peter F. Drucker has advocated that the managerial approach to handle workers and work should be pragmatic and dynamic. The workers should be given a sufficient measure of freedom to organize and control their work environment. It is duty of every manager to educate, train and 12 people worked under him. Managerial roles. Managerial roles are the organized set of behavior that is associated with the position of manager. The work of managers at all levels is extremely complex and open-minded, at times more artistic than scientific. Although the specific activities of managers at different levels vary, they have important elements in common. Each plays a similar role that is generally accepted as appropriate in a given situation. In the late 1960s, Henry Mintzberg conducted a precise study of managers at work. He found that managers perform 10 different and highly interrelated roles attributed to their jobs. Overall, there are 10 specific roles performed by managers which are included in 3 categories. These rules are briefly explained in the following diagram. Henry Mintzberg 10 managerial roles: interpersonal roles, informational roles, decisional roles. Now we will discuss it in detail. Interpersonal roles. The need for interpersonal roles arises because of the constant interaction that a manager has with people both inside and outside of an organization. In this, the manager is responsible for managing relationship within and outside the organization. In other words, interpersonal roles are those roles that allow a manager to interact with his or her employees for the purpose of achieving organizational goals. Three of the manager's roles involve basic interpersonal relationship. Figurehead role. In figurehead role, manager performs symbolic, legal or social duties such as greeting visitors, signing legal documents, attending the weddings of an employee, taking an important customer to lunch, and so on. All social, inspiration, legal and ceremonial obligations are performed by the manager in this role. In this light, the manager is seen as a symbol of status and authority. Leader role. As a leader role, managers motivate the subordinates and leading them in the direction of goal accomplishment. In simple words, this role describes the manager's relationship with subordinates. As a leader, the manager must bring the needs of the subordinates in accord with those of his organization. Liaison role. In a liaison role, a manager acts as a link to integrate the organization internally as well as externally. With the organization, manager integrates different units and individuals of the organization and outside the organization. A manager integrates the organization with its environment to assess the state of competition, social changes, government policies and legislative enactment, etc. In other words, a manager serves as a liaison between the organization and outside contacts such as customer, suppliers, community and others. Informational role. The second category of managerial roles is informational roles. The informational roles include those roles which a manager must generate and share knowledge to successfully achieve organizational goals. Basically, the need for informational roles arises because a manager has to constantly receive and pass on useful information to the relevant people and institutions. Under informational roles, a manager has to perform three roles as a monitor, disseminator and spokesperson. Monitor role. It refers to the managers continually seeking and receiving relevant information in order to be well informed. In simple words, in this role, a manager acts as a monitor and receives information from various sources such as journals, magazines, newspapers, etc. This information is monitored so that it becomes useful for the informants. Disseminator role. As disseminator, a manager transmits information to those who need it through memorandum, phone calls, meetings, notices, circulars, manuals, etc. In simple words, the manager passes on important information to subordinates. Some of this is factual information, but some is based on the manager's analysis and interpretation of events. In either case, it is manager's responsibility to ensure that subordinates have the information they need to carry out their duties. Spokesperson's role. Managers act as a spokesperson or representative of the organization. They transmit information to people outside their units which have some stake in the organization. These stakeholders can be government officials, labor unions, financial institutions, suppliers, customers, etc. The manager must win their support by effectively managing the social impact of his organization. Thus, a manager performs the role of spokesperson by representing his organization to outside world and explaining the plans, policies, actions and results of the organizational activities. Decisional role. The need of decisional roles arises because a manager has to solve organizational problems with a view to providing it with the necessary strength to withstand internal and external pressures. Information is the basic input to decision making for managers. Therefore, decision making roles of managers are as follows. Entrepreneurial role. In this role, a manager doesn't merely adapt to his surrounding situation but proactively looks out for innovation. So, as an entrepreneur, manager constantly looks for profitable ventures and is prepared to undertake risk too. Thus, when demand for his product falls off, the manager does not cut back his production but seeks new outlets or new products in order to maintain production. Disturbance handler. As role of disturbance handler, a manager takes charge immediately when his organization faces a major disturbance or such as loss of a key executive, cancellation of an order, a strike, the destruction of a facility, etc. Thus, as a disturbance handler, a manager intervenes when unexpected situations may arise. Resource allocator role. In this role, a manager must divide work and delegate authority among his subordinates. He must decide who will get what. A manager decides the priorities of organizational activities and allocates physical, financial and human resources to those activities. Negotiator roles. The manager at all levels has to spend sufficient time in negotiations. As a negotiator, a manager represents his unit or organization in negotiating deals within the organization and also with external agencies such as contractors, suppliers, bankers, etc. with the purpose of gaining advantage for organization. Students, let's summarize now what we have learned in this module. Peter Drucker has identified 5 basic operations in the work of a manager. They are setting objectives, designing the organizational structure, performing the directing function in the form of communication and motivation, performance appraisal, and develop people including himself. All these operations require experience, analytical and leadership skills on the part of the manager. The functions of a manager may be stated as roles performed by him. A role consists of the behavior pattern expected of a manager within an organization. Henry Mintzberg concluded a comprehensive survey on the subject of managerial roles and integrated his findings with the result of a study of 5 practicing chief executives. He identified 10 roles performed by managers at all levels under 3 heads. These heads are interpersonal roles, informational roles, and decisional roles. The skill of a manager changes from level to level in the organization. Managers at top level require more of conceptual and design skills, whereas at the lower level, technical skills are more needed. Managers working at the middle level act as a bridge between the top level and lower level. Thank you very much.